Welcome to the SkidMarksPODCAST. I'm Obe.
I'm Jack, and here with us today we have another guest, a very special one of this. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jobe. Supposed friend of these two fuckwits, but
Supposed?
Good. You're already getting a bit cheeky, aren't you, boy?
Oh, well, we have a few questions to ask you. Well, first question is, what do you do? What's your job?
I'm a bartender.
A bartender?
Yeah, as of probably 4 weeks ago.
Oh, so what does
What does bartending involve, Joe?
It's quite.
But I mostly pour beers because it's a local pub. It's not like a club or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't get to do many cocktails, which is unfortunate.
All right, Joe. Are you freaky? What's the freakiest?
What's the freakiest thing you've ever done? Can be as a teenager, as an adult, or as a child.
Oh, it was definitely as a child.
It was.
tell us that.
Oh,
We
right.
want to know.
I don't.
Do you ever not wash your hands after taking a piss?
I actually prefer to not wash my hands after I wipe.
You know, I have a hot take. I don't use toilet paper when I wipe.
Really? What's your reason behind that, Obi?
I actually have a fear of toilet paper. Like, unironically. Like, it's fucking...
It is actually kind of funny, but...
It's
quite
funny.
Oh, do you want... I'll go into it. So when I was 5, I had a younger brother that no one ever knew about, except my family, of course. And he ate too much toilet paper and drank too much raspberry cordial at the same time and ended up drowning and suffocating from soggy toilet paper. So every time I did use it since, I felt like I was shoving soggy toilet paper into my younger brother's mouth, which is actually my asshole, but it gives me great PTSD and trauma.
So why does the relationship between you wiping your ass with it and your brother putting it in his mouth, like what does that actually have to do with
Was there like an ass eating thing in your family, or?
Well, it's just a hole is a hole, right?
Any holes the goal, that's what I say.
And I don't know, the holding...
Anyway, moving on, because this guy just clearly can't shut the fuck up sometimes, you know?
Really annoying. Very unprofessional.
So Joe, what's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Ooh. I think there was one where I was hitting you over the head with a bat.
Oh.
Wow, that's
I don't know
freaky,
why.
isn't it?
Was that in a freaky context or like a hateful revenge?
Bit of both, I think.
Bit of both?
So it was like, I wasn't into it, but you had a boner while you were doing it.
No, it's actually the other way around. I wasn't into it. I was doing it because I hate you, but you were really into it for some reason.
Well, dreams work in weird ways, don't they? I'll tell you what, I had a dream once.
Yeah?
So,
Once.
yes. I remember it very, very clearly. Like what happened? Nah, I don't remember. So I was...
I'd love to tell you what happened in your dream, Jack, but I was not fucking there.
So I was probably about 7 years old. I'm just at my house, and then all of a sudden, smoke alarm goes off. Guess what? You know what that means?
Smoke.
Smoke. So the thing is, the smoke wasn't from an actual fire. It was from a man, but the man was made of fire.
Oh.
And he looked like a magma man, you know, like magma. Picture a magma block in Minecraft, but just like a man.
Moving on.
Continuing on, my whole entire family actually got killed by this magma man, and so this is why it's actually ingrained into my mind so much, because I can't like ever forget it, because the trauma of having my family killed by a magma man in my dreams. And then,
Magma's a good way of saying it.
so I I went outside, tried to run away. I was going to my mate Callum's house. That was my goal. I was like, I've got to make it to Callum's.
Never liked Callum.
Callum lives like just over there, by the way.
Never met.
Oh, he does.
Just over there.
He does.
Yeah.
Never actually tried a Callum. I reckon I'd really enjoy it.
Well, Callum. A Callum. You ever had a Callum, Jack?
You ever let shut the fuck up while I tell my story, mate? No. So, continuing on. I was trying to run to Callum's. I made it out. I don't know why, but we had a gate, like the gate we have now, but we didn't have a gate when this was made. So it's kind of weird.
When your dream was made.
When my dream was made, yes. And then I just turn around and the magma man throws a ball of fire at me. And that's it. I wake up on the floor. I'm falling out of bed. Sweating.
Do you know why you wake up when you die? Because your brain can't comprehend death.
Well, my brain can comprehend death, actually, Obi.
What is wrong with you? Alright. What do you think death is, Jack?
Well, unlike you guys,
Us mere mortals.
I've been on death row.
Oh, you have? Yeah, you've been pretty
I sort of,
close.
I'm kind of comprehended a bit better than the average person.
Yeah. Is it sad, or do you think it's something that should be celebrated? Because it is actually, just the end.
Well,
of a peaceful, long existence.
A lot of people, I hear a lot of people talk about birthdays, and they're like, it's just 1 year closer to death. But I believe birthdays are a celebration of life. And it's just like what were what were your parents doing the day they cummed?
They come
together.
Collectively come.
Came together.
Yeah.
And like Job turned 18 last week. Big round of applause for Job.
And he became a bartender 4 weeks before he was 18.
Yes. I broke the law.
Joe broke the law. Not the first
But
time
yeah.
you've done that, isn't that, Jack? You've
I've
broken the law a
I've
few
never
times.
broken the law.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
he hasn't.
I was found not guilty.
And Joe was not found.
I was not found. I was not found.
Joe was not found.
But yeah.
39 buried. 0 found.
So yeah, but Joe's parents actually had to have sex. Do you believe in sex?
No.
No. I don't even know what it is, if I'm being
Oh,
honest. You say sex and it's just in one ear, out the next.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. So Joe, have you pulled any bitches recently?
No.
Oh.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. I like a
So many men though.
Oh.
I like a loyal man to a loyal man,
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Nothing links better than
Some man on man sex.
man action.
Yeah.
I love men.
Look at my outfit.
I like your outfit.
Summer influence. It looks like I should be in hot weather.
No, it's actually quite warm today, isn't it, Obi?
Yeah, it is quite warm, and I'm actually quite disappointed that it's warm.
I'm disappointed as well.
Because you know what
Have
that
you-
means.
Have you
I
listened?
don't actually know
What that means is that all you viewers are not leaving your fridge open this week, as it is currently the 24th, and the fridges are supposed to be open for 3 days, and it is getting hotter.
So, Joe, have you been leaving your fridge open?
I actually have been leaving my fridge
Look at
open.
that. Thank
Wow.
you. Wow.
See, this is the
It's mainly because I forget to close it.
Oh,
We'll take it.
sometimes
Wins
I
a win.
accidentally run over a rabid dog, and that saves a few people's time. So
Yeah.
there's beauty in accidents. I don't know if they're rabid. They might have been pets.
Continuing on.
I don't know if they
Sorry.
were dogs. They could have been rabbit children.
I think our viewers are actually getting confused with leave your oven open week.
Oh.
Leave your fridge open week. We did discuss this in our last podcast. Joe, did you tune into that?
Unfortunately not, because I'm a useless piece of shit.
Oh. Well, that's anyone who doesn't watch the podcast.
What happened?
Never believe you're good enough. Do you believe you're good enough?
No.
Good. Watches the podcast.
He does.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Joe.
Stuff.
Do you know who that quote's by? Never believe you're good enough.
No, I did not.
Famous goalkeeper, actually.
He goes by the name of Cal the Dragon. But yeah. Remember, leave your oven week open is not for the next 5 years, and that is to balance out the climate because.
Yeah.
Of course.
But leave your fridge open week. That's this week, guys. Make sure you leave your fridge open. We want to hear some reports. Post on Instagram. Tag us at SkidMarksPODCAst.
Yeah.
And use the hashtag leave your fridge open this week. So yeah.
By the time this is coming out, I think leave your fridge open week will be very close to ending. Yeah.
Last chance.
It only comes once in every decade. Yeah.
So it's pretty important.
It's pretty important, and
piece of history, and it's quite sad people were choosing not to undertake.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Oh, that's another clip. There you go. Big cut.
Yeah.
I guess the thing's lagging today.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of cuts.
It's about unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, very unfortunate.
But if you sign up to my OnlyFans, you see some exclusive
content.
There's some exclusive content.
Some exclusive content.
And also support us on Patreon.
Patreon, yep. What other donation services? GoFundMe. What's it called? The Red Cross is something I set up for myself.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, yep. All these lead directly back to us, which is pretty good.
So
I don't make any money.
You're a guest.
You're a guest.
You're a fucking guest.
It's like if you could be you're a guest. Speak when you're spoken to, right, mate?
Speaking of speaking to you, another question.
No.
If you could travel to any year in a time machine, what year would you travel to?
That's
and why?
Good question.
I don't know the year, but it would probably be the year before Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery. For no reason in particular.
For no reason. I'm not allowed to ask why.
No, it's so I could help partake in abolishing of slavery.
What you name in the American history books. I think that was around the 18th.
I actually did my report on the implementation of the 13th Amendment into the US Constitution.
The Lincoln film.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Lincoln?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't with my mum.
I've been meaning to.
I would say it is one of the best movies I've ever watched. I would highly recommend it to anyone out there. Go watch Lincoln, but it really tells you a great story and and a really accurate portrayal.
Yeah.
Still crazy that no slavery was 13, but guns was 2.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's crazy.
I feel like we are really Lincoln for this podcast. So, next question. What is one of the most fun childhood memories you have? Now, this might link in to one of the first questions, which is, what is the freakiest thing you've done?
And you can.
Unfortunately, they're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Sorry to disappoint.
Aww.
I reckon probably the most fond memory I have is probably running into this guy with a bike over and over again for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know how you run into someone with a bike. Were you holding
I was riding the bike.
So
riding into
you
someone.
you wouldn't understand, Obe, because you were actually in Scotland when this.
Which is cringe.
Thanks, Joe.
You know, Brexit was really hard. You don't understand. You guys have always been fucking independent, right? Right? Have you?
Well, I mean, we're still part of.
Why
you're
so? Yeah.
We don't really have independence that is per se. But
You are kind of more. Well, you're on the other side of the world. Anyway, what were you saying?
So yeah, this is actually. Am I thinking right when I say bike chasing?
You could possibly be thinking.
Well, why don't
Bike
you?
chasing.
Why don't
That's a game I play with the kindergarten girls. Yeah.
We did not play it with kindergarten girls, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So do you reckon you can tell us a bit about this bike chasing, Joe?
Yeah, bike chasing. It was a very clever game that your average 10-year-old comes up with.
Yeah.
So it's where you get a bunch of friends. It's just chasing, but you're all on bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of tagging each other, you run into them as fast as you possibly can.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah, somehow no one died.
All got injured.
Still baffled by that one.
Knife chasing would be fun. You just have to run as hard as you can into someone with a knife or like a spear. That'd be pretty good.
Spear chasing, I reckon it'd be better.
Spear chasing would be fun.
Because you can throw the spear.
Like, you know. Yeah, but bike chasing, God tier.
How many? What'd you rate out of? Foresters?
It's a Forester.
It's on the Forester scale.
It's a Forester. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 Foresters.
Whoa!
Purely because they're bikes, not Foresters.
Yeah.
Forester chasing.
Well, they do that. It's called a demolition derby.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, 8 out of 10 Foresters, bike chasing.
Oh.
Highly recommend it to all the kids out there that want to have fun.
And adults.
And adults, yep.
But
with kids.
yeah, you have to play it. As an adult, you actually can secretly get into the younger age divisions. Because there's actual, like, there's respect levels. Because, you know, year 7s play with year 7s. Year 3s play with 28-year-olds.
Yeah.
But things
28-year-olds play with 3s.
Yeah, that's what we just said. Thanks, Joe. There's
Yeah.
actually another class called dyke chasing.
Anyway, you got caught up with the law again, Jack. Happens every fucking week.
Every single week.
You see, last week, I hinted a bit of it. Yeah.
It's all up to you, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway, you got caught up with the law again, Jack. Happens every fucking week.
Every single week.
You see, last week, I hinted a bit of what was going to happen this week, not knowing that it involved you. So last week, I ended the episode with a story about the royal corgis of...
Queen Elizabeth II.
she's not the queen anymore because she's dead and she's not a monarch. So royal family member Queen Elizabeth.
Wait.
Royal family member Elizabeth
Yeah.
II's dogs. 3 of them shot dead in Memphis.
Yep.
And you told me before this episode that you have something to do with it.
So it's actually a funny story now we think about it.
Yeah.
So you know how I got caught up with the law a couple of weeks ago with the whole playground story?
Yeah.
To check out the playground story, watch episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
That'll explain where we're coming from here. But pretty much, to summarise, I shat on an infant child and then drop kicked him.
Yeah.
So-
It's coming back to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the American government wanted the death penalty for me.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was in Australia at the time, so I couldn't really.
They couldn't really get you over.
No. So what happened was I went to America, had the trial, got trialed, and they sentenced me. They did sentence me to death, but then they actually changed the laws that just a week after that I couldn't be sentenced to death if I was a citizen of another country as well.
Yeah.
So it ended up being that I got out on probation
Yeah.
again, thanks to my officer.
Who's might or might not be called Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
Dave. You met Dave? He's one of the. He's actually our Joe Rogan Jamie.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, that's Dave. So anyway, me and Dave, right, we went on a holiday in Memphis. And what we didn't know at the time was...
What's in Memphis?
No, we went to watch an NBA game from the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Because I was just out, I was like, let's reinvigorate my life somehow, So Dave, he took me to Memphis.
So Davey took me to Memphis.
Dave took me
This
to
is his
Memphis.
chance of his second life.
What I didn't know at the time was the former Queen Elizabeth II. She was actually travelling the United States, and she actually got shot in Detroit. That's actually how she passed away, unfortunately.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth. She got shot in Detroit. Drive-by shooting. Happens to the best of us.
Happens to all of us.
So her corgis, they were currently in transit from the UK to the US at this stage, and they were getting held in Memphis, just like getting their fleas checked and stuff like that. So funny. So obviously the corgis, they heard of this shooting in Detroit. They went pretty feral. They broke out of their the centre and stuff in the airport, and I was going to get on the plane to come back to Australia, you know,
Yeah.
come see my family after the Grizzlies game, after our holiday.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking past all the dogs, like being like, oh look, these are cute. Come across these 3 corgis. They in my defence, they appeared very nice. They appeared very nice, and
Just how they get you.
Yeah.
I know, and like. So they started like rolling on their backs and stuff. I was like looking through their cages, stuff rolling on their backs. I'll tell you what, one of them had the biggest penis I've ever seen on a dog. It was massive. And I was just like, you know what, I've got to get some of that. So I let it out of the cage.
Yeah.
To get some of that dog penis.
Yeah.
To be specific, yes, in technical terms.
The dog penis wasn't for me. It was for my dogs at home. I wanted to like snip, bring it back home for him. So continuing on, I let these 3 corgis out the cage, and I was expecting like just a chill flight home with these corgis and stuff. I didn't know they were queens at the time either. I just thought they were like adoption animals that you could adopt there, like take them for free and stuff. So
yeah.
And what happened was I let them out of their cages, and they went full feral on me. Like they were trying to attack me. I had one. So there's 3 of them, you know. So they knocked me.
I have to interrupt. This week's Animal versus Animal of the Week: Jack versus 3 royal corgis. Continue.
So what happened? All 3 of them came at me. Bang! Smacked into me, slammed me on the floor.
Yeah.
One of them starts humping my right leg. One of them humps my left leg. At this point, I'm like, it can't get any worse, can it?
You're intent.
No, it does. The 3rd one, it comes up the middle, you know. So I'm sprawled out like a starfish. Like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Trot. Looks at me and I'm not joking. It let out the fattest shit I've ever seen a dog let out. And at this point, as you can imagine, I'm not in the best state of mind. I've been sexually assaulted and abused.
Or currently being sexually assaulted.
Yeah,
even.
by 3 dogs. So at this point, I'm in a pretty bad state of mind, and you've got to remember, I actually was still recovering from my brain injury that I got from falling down the stairs. So it wasn't a good time for me. And then, so what happened was Dave, because you know Dave's there. Dave goes everywhere with me. We're pretty much best friends these days.
Yeah.
Dave comes over and he's just like, oh no.
Dave.
Yeah, alleged. That's his name. That's what we call him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Dave comes over. He's just like, oh, good. What's going on here, mate? It's like, oh, Dave, you'll never believe this, but you know he did believe it. So he could see it happening to him. So
It's a bit concerning.
So
He didn't believe you.
But luckily for us, Dave actually brought his AK-47 assault rifle with him, which came in extremely handy at the airport. So.
The fact that got it into the
as
airport.
they usually do.
Yeah.
So he tosses me the assault rifle. I'm like, oh, Dave, you absolute legend. I gunned the fuck out of these 3 dogs, right? And like after it's all done, all the ordeal's all done, I'm obviously taken away by security and stuff. And they're just like, oh, what's happened to your trousers, mate? I'm like, it's a long story. So I've actually got a lot of like stuff on my trousers. I didn't know how it got there. At that point, we later tested it, found to be stuff that comes from dogs. I probably can't say it on the mic, but if you know what I'm talking about and you can sort of connect events. If you have an IQ over 50, you'd probably be able to figure it out. But then I got taken away by the security question for 48 hours straight. Just like, why the fuck did you take these dogs? And I was like, oh, not just adoption dogs, are they? Like, no, they're like the royal dogs of the Queen. I was like, well, they're not anymore, are they? So it's not really a me issue as far as when you consider things.
And I mean, with the Queen being gone, it's not really a her issue either.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
you could argue it's self-defense.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get to the police station. You know, I'm actually in the US this time, so
Oh.
as you can imagine.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
However, since this wasn't a US matter. It happened in I was charged for having an automatic weapon and firing in a public space and in an airport.
Yeah.
That's weird. I thought that was legal.
Yeah, it's happened so often.
I know.
You'd think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's legal.
But it's actually, so next week I'm actually going to England to have my court trial there because, you know, it's not really an American issue, it's more I've got the royal family testifying against me over the deaths of these corgis, and it's just, like, obviously this all allegedly happened. I haven't admitted to anything or anything like that because, you know, why would you? But yeah, so not a great situation for me once again.
I've some breaking news. I'm not Obe. I'm Detective Arthur Church Michael Archbishop Sampsons, and I am here working
Sorry,
on
what's
the
your name
case.
again? I just missed that.
I forgot it already. I am here working on the case of the Queen's 3 dead corgis. Hey Jack, tell me your motive. Why did you kill the dogs? Speak into the microphone!
I allegedly, they humped me, they raped me. I didn't have any control.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
It was self-defense!
These are small animals, Jack. Look,
They have
That doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Small animals can have massive penises.
A massive impact. I don't give a shit. How'd you kill them?
Allegedly with an AK-47 assault rifle that I
Allegedly?
fired 20 shots out of and
Yeah.
killed 3 civilians as well, but no one knows that yet.
And the outcome of this. What are the reparations that you've had to do? What have you had to pay since you killed these 3 animals?
I haven't had to pay anything, I just had to give Mary a blowjob to Princess Mary from the royal family. And testify in court against them.
Enough games! Tell us the truth!
I didn't do anything wrong!
You did! No! Yes, you did, Jack. You have to talk to us. Jack, come here. You guys have known each other for a while. Jack, did you do it or not?
Allegedly.
Allegedly yes or allegedly no?
Allegedly, yes.
We got him, boys.
We got him. Alright. I actually have something, because I kill a few animals, like I said, with the car and stuff.
Yes.
If you could change anything about how you did it, or if you were going to do it again, what would you have done differently this time?
I think the logical thing would probably have been to not let the dogs out of their cages and not
So not commit the crime at all, is what you're thinking.
Well, the crime that I allegedly committed.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, how about we start from you're being raped by 3 dogs. Let's start from there. Instead of being handed an AK-74 and blasting them, you know, up to the heavens, what would you have done from that situation onward?
I think the most ideal situation would probably have been to just get up and report the dogs to security and have them taken away and put down themselves.
And maybe you could sue the royal family.
Yeah.
For,
And maybe I could get, like, I don't know, Queen Elizabeth's feet or something, you know, like something
Trade
something
some dogs
cool.
for some dogs.
Yeah, something cool, you know. But you know, that's all I've got to say. I'm not saying any more on this subject until the verdict's been found.
And when's the verdict being found?
Most likely next week.
Next week.
And when the court trial is.
Right before our next planned recording, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk about it straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you've talked a lot, I've talked a lot.
Uh-huh.
We have a guest right here that
I
we're
know.
not doing much. Talking
That's
to.
boring.
Have you committed any crimes except allegedly bartending?
Allegedly.
Yeah. You haven't committed any crimes recently?
Allegedly, I ran over a small family of 4, but
So,
that's not a lot of fun.
the term small family of 4, does that determine
They were
amount?
physically small. Like, they were all under 4'3".
Joe, is it dwarfs? Because I think you have to be under 4'8" as a fully grown.
Well, I didn't get out, measure them, and then run them over. So I just have to
that's
guess.
how
I
I measure them and weigh them to guess how many points they scored on each day. Small ones they multiply easier, but initial points aren't that good.
I find they bounce off the hood easier.
Yeah, so
I
you get
take time and smaller
combos.
damage. Yeah. Hit him twice, you get double the points.
Yeah.
So I can bounce them off the hood onto the windshield. It's usually a much better time.
Okay, Joe.
Methods.
Okay, guys. So on this segment, we are going to do a trivia quiz with Joe. And
Quiz.
Joe's actually picked out a topic for us before this episode that he wants us to do.
Definitely.
So we have 10 questions, 10 sex questions.
I know all about sex.
10 first questions.
Okay, Joe. So, question number 1. What is the average number of sex partners for a woman?
Ooh. I want to say 7.
We've got 4 options.
I
That's
want to be a
boring.
part of this quiz as well.
Okay.
I want
No, like
to,
it's actually fine. I didn't want to do the quiz. You can just do the quiz if you want. I actually didn't want to do the quiz at all.
I want to do it as well.
Okay.
I want to say it to Joe, but I'll say my answer in hand numbers.
So, what's the average number of sex partners for women? Your options are 2, 9, 12, or 4.
9.
Obi?
Which one was the biggest?
12.
12.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
The answer is 4.
I think I'm going to opt out. I think
Okay.
these questions are too inappropriate.
So, Joe, what is the average number of sex partners for men?
Men.
7, 4,
Are
9.5, or 11?
9.5.
What classifies as half a partner?
Good question, Joe.
Only one of the parties said yes. It actually says 9.5.
What's your guess? Joe?
Oh, it's obvious. It's an
So
average.
we're obviously only including female partners here, because if it was male partners, then the numbers would just have to be way higher. I reckon I'm going to have to go with 9.5.
Alright, I
It's
can
a bit of a
reveal
spicy guess.
the answer is 7.
7.
Average. Dude, men just apparently pull more bitches because.
It's not our problem. Okay, we're not gonna do that one.
Clearly it's only an average, though.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's 9.5 because
Well, we gave a reason why it was 9.5. We did.
my body counts 3. 6 halves equals.
Okay.
And if they're under the, no, I'm not gonna say that.
Whoa.
True or false? There is more than one type of orgasm.
True.
Yeah, I'd say true.
You're correct!
I'd say unlike the professional there who has like the dictionary or
So
something.
it's like the checks.
Yeah. So you say your thing and I'm just like.
So you're
yeah.
the expert on the topic.
There's
itself.
actually many orgasms. So there's there's the anal orgasm, and then there is the urethra, or that's just something to do with your shaft and cock.
Cock and balls. even.
There's some type of orgasm you get from successfully capturing,
No, I don't know. Can you
No?
please explain?
No?
Please
Have you
elaborate.
ever gone hunting and you capture?
Okay, alright. Question 4. Is it possible for a guy to have multiple orgasms?
No, you can only have one ever.
Watch this.
It's actually true. You are wrong there.
This.
I think I need to go see a doctor.
Okay. What is the average length of a penis?
Alright, let me just help you. Yeah? You look?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright. Do you need? I haven't got a ruler, but.
You see, my initial guess was 3, but now I'm thinking more like 1.5.
Well, be realistic.
I'm talking meters.
Oh. Okay. You got 3 options: 3 to 4 inches, 6 inches, or 5 to 6 inches.
Ooh. Was it 3 to 4, 5 to 6?
3 to 4, 6, 5 to 6.
It's like an order. Like it's.
It's
kind of pissing me off.
a bit of a yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
5 to 6.
5 to 6 sounds about.
You're
right.
correct.
Yeah. I just had to show you for reference. The audio listeners, for reference, I gave Job a hint by showing him my penis. I'm of age, so is Job. Next question, Jack.
Okay. The bigger a guy's feet are, the bigger his penis is. Is that true or false, Joe?
Sorry, I'm
I
just
reckon it's
struggling.
false.
You're correct. It is false.
As in they're unrelated, not
Yeah,
as in
unrelated.
the bigger the
No, it says
smaller?
I thought it was inversely proportional.
inversely proportional. Yeah. It's not.
If a guy
I'm sure
has a
it's
small flaccid penis, it won't be much larger when erect.
Going from personal experience.
Alright, no, this one I can show you. Right. Soft. Alright?
Do you have like a switch?
About 1 inch. Alright? Like a grandma. Oh, there you go. Alright, look at
Yeah.
that.
True.
It's true.
It's false.
Fuck!
Oh,
I think,
wait.
I think you need to go see a doctor, Obi.
Mine grew from 1 to 3. That's fucking 3 times bigger. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay. Final question. And this.
Your 4 to 7.5 isn't even 2 times, Job.
Okay. Shh. He's our guest. I want you to calm down.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I have to.
Okay. Last question, Joe.
Is it now?
After the bedroom, what is the most popular place to have sex? Got a public restroom, the car, or the kitchen?
Kindergarten. Oh.
Good guess, Eddie.
So close, yet so far.
Oh, that's good.
What do you think, Joe?
You see, my initial guess was the kindergarten, but I reckon I'm gonna have to go with the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because they both start with
I'd like
K.
to put in my input. I think the kitchen makes sense. You may think the bath. What was the other one?
The car or the public restroom?
Car is just a bit like situational. I feel like unless you have, it can't be.
I mean, realistically, unless you're throwing them in the boot and then driving off, like,
or
it's just
unless
not
they're not
feasible.
awake.
Yeah.
But that's not all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because the bathroom's very difficult. Kitchen, I'd say kitchen as well.
I can reveal to you.
It's the bathroom.
It's the car.
is the car.
Mm.
There's a lot of kidnappings.
Yeah, there is.
Don't get in a stranger's car.
Okay.
Get in my car.
Well,
You
Joe.
I know you.
Joe.
This is Joe.
Joe.
He's not a stranger anymore. You've met him.
You've met
alright?
him.
Get
You
in
can
his
get in
car.
my
And you can come to his address and capture him if you feel like. Continue. I want to talk about another segment.
Oh, another segment.
So I want to talk about icks.
Icks.
Yeah.
Ew! I'm sorry.
But what's your opinion on like girls having icks and stuff like that? Would you say they're preferences of men, or would you say there's something deeper than that?
You can go on that. Oh, would you like me? Because
No, I got it. I feel like it depends on what it is. Like there are certain things that you could call an ick that are just a preference in like personality or like physical attributes. There's other things where I feel like there are just some men that just aren't desirable.
yeah,
And should be removed.
put down. I was going to say it depends on the approach and the intent, because icks are something you exclaim and tell people about. But I don't think they can get mixed up, because you don't have an ick to black people, you just prefer to date white people, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, my preference is white, I just, not.
Or are they just saying that to appear not racist?
That is all cut out ever since
That is not
Joe mentioned another
Yeah, I'm
race.
sorry, I said a racist
Okay.
comment.
Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, no.
So I heard something on a show yesterday. It said, and it was some girl. She's like, an ick of me is when he has mummy issues. And then the host asked, like, what if he doesn't have a mum at all? And she's like, well, that's kind of worse. I wouldn't date a man that doesn't have a mum. And I was thinking about it, I was like, I think that's kind of, that makes her more undesirable to me.
Yeah, that's a good
Because it's not like you can change a lot of things about you to make you more attractive or desirable,
point. But
you can't get a new mum.
Well, you can. You just can't,
Yeah.
stepmom. But if your dad's gone as well.
And
That's unfortunate.
and it just made me think, I feel like sometimes women can be a bit too particular with what they're looking for.
You're allowed to look for
You're allowed
things.
to have a preference, but I feel like the second you start putting people down because they're not of that preference is when
Yeah.
it's a problem.
Yeah.
So I think having an ick is fine. It's when you go walk up to someone and be like, that gave me an ick, and then walk off.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, that's about the intent and the approach. Like, if you're there to hurt someone's feelings, I mean, sometimes it can help, like constructive criticism. Ew, stop shitting on the pavement. Like, maybe
Yeah.
there's a bit of truth
piss
in
in the
that.
bed.
Or like, ew, stop, wearing 2 left shoes or something.
What's wrong with wearing 2 left shoes?
It's just not right. Thank you. No, but it's kind of like a trend going around where it's like, he's a 10, but have you seen those ones?
Yeah.
She's a
I
10.
have seen those.
Yeah, he's a 10, right? Or she or he's a 10. They are a 10, but they wear 2 left shoes.
They're an 11. Because they have the confidence to wear 2 left shoes.
For me, they're a 5 because a 5 sort of represents their IQ. I think 10 is a bit too high.
And they're missing
too high.
the other shoe, which is 5 and 10. So it's a pretty
Yeah, I just feel like it's...
Alright, I've got another one. She's a 10, but she plays soccer or football. Now, some of these don't mean that it's necessarily like a huge drop. It could still be mean like, yeah, that's alright.
10.
Yeah, you like girls that play
10.
soccer?
Yeah, 10, indifferent.
Yeah, nothing changes?
10.
Yeah, good. Good.
Girls are allowed to play whatever sport they want. I
Alright.
enjoy watching women's football.
Alright. She's a 10, but she's taller and stronger than you.
10.
You have to answer this one as well.
Yeah.
10.
9.
I actually would say 10 because I think there's some part of that would be.
Okay, wait, let me rephrase. To what extreme are they like?
Oh,
Because I'm 6 foot, so are they like 8'3"?
No, let's say
deadlift
you're
like
700
You're
6
kilos.
foot, so
They're like 6'2".
she'd be 6'2".
Oh, okay.
You bench 90, she benches 100.
Oh yeah, that's a 10.
But
I was gonna say it's just like 7.
I think
to bench 100, she is big.
it's like having a girl who's like driven in that aspect as well and knows what she wants. It's nice.
I'd like to extend on this. At what point are they too tall?
Ooh.
At what point are they too strong?
I don't really have a strength preference.
Strength is same. Strength is an issue. It's more the size that correlates with that strength.
I think 6'4" is my max.
That'd be pretty cool. Find a woman who's 6'4", and then
Yeah, probably about the same. 6'3", 6'4".
I could date a woman that's taller than me easily.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's not very hard, but
I'm 5'10" and 3/4" for everyone wondering.
I have one final one. He's a 10, but he's allegedly shat and kicked on a child. Allegedly being connected to the falling of the World Trade Center, and allegedly killed 3 dogs in an airport last
so he's
weekend.
allegedly Osama bin Laden.
So someone who has a lot of gossip and people like rumors about him. You don't know if they're true, but a lot of rumors, and it's kind of like some of the bad rap.
Do they ever get disproven, or are they just permanently?
Well, we don't know.
allegedly?
They might.
Are they just permanently allegedly?
They might, but someone who has a lot of rumors. If you hear a lot of rumors about someone, you think some of them are true, some of them might not be. What do you think?
Depends on. So the people around me know these rumors. I'm assuming.
Everyone knows.
They're like
Most
they're
people.
like the everyone knows.
It's pretty
rumors.
big
I get it.
stuff, yeah. You know how to pick a time and event, don't you? That's how they get connected to all the big things.
I reckon it's still a 10.
Still a 10?
Just have to move on.
You just gotta have a bit of faith and a bit of belief in this person.
Stop being so fucking petty.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to contrast with Joe there. I'm going to say a 3.
Oh.
3.
I'd expect a bigger answer from you, Jack.
Well, to me, it's just like I don't want to be with someone. I'm not a rumorous person myself, so I don't really want to be with someone who's always in the news, always making rumors about themselves, and some of which you don't know which are true or not.
Too much
Because
attention.
I feel like I live a quiet life. I don't get into much trouble. I'm just me, and that's the way I want to live with a partner.
Yeah, you don't want if you're dating someone who's done allegedly a lot of bad things, and some of these allegedly things are then proven true, You
It puts-
yourself get.
It puts you in a bad light, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So that's my opinion on it all, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to keep it that way. Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Joe.
Next week on the Skidmarks podcast, Jack goes to court in England for the trial of the killing of the Queen's 3 corgis. We have a new song of the week, and Obi's pants split at the gym, revealing his genitalia to children on the treadmill. We'd like to thank Job for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Job.
I'm Jack, this is Obi, and we'll see you next week for the Skidmarks podcast.
See ya.
Just wanna feel alive.